Okay, hi everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you guys can hear me. Thank you for joining. I'm sorry we're like 2 minutes late. Apologize for that. But yeah, we're ready and I'm excited to be here. So I'd appreciate if everyone can, just drop your location in the comment section. Let me know where you're streaming from. Let me know where you're streaming the event from before we start. Thank you, marketing genius. So please just let me know where you're streaming from. Let me know where you're watching this event from. And I'm happy to have everyone here. I'm also happy to be here. Welcome, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and start. Hi, Daniel from Lagos. Thank you. Thank you. My name is Ola BC, and I'm the head of marketing at the Fifth Alley. So the Fifth Alley is a digital marketing and creative agency, and I will be talking about the summit. I'll be talking about our speakers, and also I hope you guys are ready to, jot things down. So before we go ahead, I'm just going to briefly talk about the DigiNext Summit. Hi everyone, I can see Paul from Ibadan, Abiola from Ijebu. Thank you guys. Happy to have you here. I'm so happy, and I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are ready to ask the speakers questions because these guys are loaded and they are ready for you. They are here ready for you guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the DigiNext Summit. So yeah, the summit is the Marketing Experience Summit is a one-day actionable virtual marketing event proudly brought to you by yours truly. That's the Fifth Alley, a digital marketing and creative agency. And the summit brings together industry professionals and marketing experts to teach you specifically what's working for them today in either digital marketing, in content creation, in growth, brand, and marketing communications, and how to do it in your own business, and how to apply it in every way you want to apply it. So the DigiNext Summit actually started in 2020, and it was so we talked about bringing together marketing professionals and everybody trying to network and understand how marketing works in different industries, how you can apply it, and who best to hear it from than those that are in the space, those that have tested the strategies. As we all know, marketing is about being better and testing strategies. So we brought together some very brilliant speakers for you guys to listen to, and I hope you guys are ready to hear from them. I hope you guys are pumped, and I hope you are ready to jot things down, right? And to start asking them questions. So I would appreciate if everyone can, listen and then note down your questions. So immediately they're done, you start bombarding them with these questions. I don't want to hear any excuses. So yes, for those that are just joining in, thank you so much for joining. And I would like to know where you guys are streaming live from. So thank you, Paul from Moyela from Ibadan. Thank you so much. Thank you. So not to waste so much of your time, I'll just take you through the agenda for today, and then I'll bring on our first speaker. So I already had the welcome speech and then introduction to DigiNext Summit, and I'll be bringing on Jemima Adegoke, Edidiong Ekong, Omolara Dada, Aladio Ogunsheye. Sorry. Now, these guys are going to be touching some very important aspects in marketing, and they are going to be letting you know their experience in marketing and what they've applied, what has worked, and what can work better, the trends to catch up on, and the likes. So Jemima Adegoke is going to be talking about the role of marketing in financial technology. Now we all understand how fintech is in town, like it's in the market today, and everybody's trying to get into that space. So Jemima is going to be telling us what marketing tactics and tools fintech brands are using to drive leads and to penetrate the market. So before I bring her on, I'm just going to briefly read her profile for you so that you can understand the person that is coming to talk to you people, so you can understand how you are going to pick the brain. Let me use that word, permit me to use that word, right? So I'll be going straight to right. This is almighty Jemima. Jemima Adegoke is a quintessential marketing and communications professional with over 7 years of experience in marketing and communication strategy, execution, and marketing across multinationals and fintechs. She started her career as a content specialist at an advertising agency in Lagos 2015, where she handled digital content planning, execution, and management for notable brands like UBA, Red TV, and Paga, to mention a few. She later moved to one of the leading digital marketing agencies in Nigeria, Wild Fusion, where she led the social media team as well as digital planning, execution, and management of brands like Wando, Diamond Access Bank, Lafarge Africa, and Origin. Now, Jemima transitioned into tech in 2019 when she joined Ayla App as the marketing and communications lead. She led and managed Ayla's rebrand from Ayla Credit to Ayla App, launched Ayla's insurance product, Ayla Care, into the market, and executed campaigns that contributed to the company's growth. Jemima currently heads the marketing and communications team at Fincra, a global fintech company on a mission to make sending and receiving money across the globe as simple as sending a text message. She's also one of the contributors to the Growth Handbook, Scaling Fintech in Nigeria, a book written by Oladipo Adeniran, Adeniran, a Nigerian technology professional. I need to drink water for this profile that I just read because I mean this is amazing. Now I'm sure you guys already get a picture of who is coming to talk to you guys, and I hope you are ready. I hope you're Jed, and I hope Jemima is also ready for us. So I'll be bringing Jemima up on stage, and then she's going to take up from there. Jemima, hi.
Hi. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Uh, Hello, can you hear me? Okay, once. Can you hear me now? No, no.
Okay, sorry guys. I think we're having a bit of a challenge here. So, meanwhile, for those that are just joining in, please, I would like to know where you guys are streaming live from. I would appreciate that, and I hope you guys are with your pen and papers and ready to, pick brains. I like using that word because I mean they are here and they are ready to offload knowledge for free. I mean, where you hardly come across that, especially now that marketing businesses need marketing, and then there are different strategies, there are different contents that you can apply to your business, apply to your personal branding, and to be in the faces of the right people. So while we're waiting for Jemima to join in, um sorry, please hold on. I'm trying to see if I think there's a bit of she's having a bit of network issues here. So for those that are just joining, thank you guys. I'm happy to be here, and I hope you guys are also very happy to be here because I mean I've looked forward to this event for a long time. I've been planning it, and we're like, what's best to bring people that are interested in marketing, those that are trying to apply knowledge, those that are trying to, increase. Sorry, please hold on. So sorry about that, guys. I really apologize for that. So yes, I think Jemima is here now, and we're sorry for the breaking transmission. Jemima,
Yes,
hi.
hi. Hi everyone. Can you
Sorry
hear me
about that.
now?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear
Oh,
you.
okay, finally. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's
Welcome.
so very hard speaking in Nigeria. So,
I know,
network.
right?
Thank you so much for
Welcome.
having me. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for joining us. Thank you. And I hope you're
Thank you.
ready for us because we are ready for you. I have my notepad here. I'm ready to jot things down, right? Well,
Okay, easy on the pressure, okay? Easy on the
so
pressure.
I know you're loaded. I know you're ready. Anyways, I'm going to be leaving the stage for you now, and I am here ready. Right. So I hope you guys are ready for her. I hope you guys are ready. So by the time she starts speaking, I don't know how you want to do it. Maybe from the first sentence she starts uttering from her mouth, just start jotting down the questions, right? For you to ask her, because I mean she's going to be talking about fintech. She's going to be talking about how to drive demand and increase business growth. So yes, Jemima, bye.
Bye. Thanks a lot, BC. Hi everyone. I'm so happy to be here, and thanks for uh the Next Summit for inviting me. I'm going to try to do this as quickly as I can, so that I don't, take any more of your time. There are a lot of other speakers that want to, share knowledge with you today. So I'm sure you would like to hear from every one of them. So I am just going to share. Uh, just give me a second. Right. Uh, I don't know if all of you can, see what I'm presenting on my screen right now. If you can, I hope I hope you can. Right. Okay. So today I basically want to talk about the role of marketing in technology, right? Like Olabisi said, what is, what we're here to talk about, like, what is fintech marketing, right? What are some of the strategies? What are some of the tactics, right? That some fintech companies have used to build, credibility, build brand trust, and, just basically drive growth. So we are going to be covering three different areas, right? We would cover, understanding what the role of marketing in fintech is, right? We are also going to be, let me just do this. So yeah, right. So understanding the role of marketing in fintech and fintech marketing, what is it? What are some of the tactics, some examples, and then basically, some key takeaways. So essentially, if you don't get everything from what I say today, those key takeaways are going to, like, basically help you wrap up everything I'm going to talk about today. So yeah, understanding the role of marketing in fintech, right? Every time people talk about, marketing in fintech, like it's like a different thing. But the truth is, every industry, right, wherever is fintech, FMCG, real estate, whatever it is, right, they require specific marketing that would, obviously build the brand, connect the business with the consumers and target audience, and then comply with the various rules and regulations that govern that industry. Say betting company, for example, now, they can do marketing, but there are some of the things that they have, there's some things that they can say, there's how they can say it, there's who they can market to. So like the rules and regulations that govern that industry. So the fintech industry is no exception to that, right? So, marketing is really, really important in fintech. So as a founder or a marketer in a fintech company, right, you really need marketing because people ask, is a small business, is a startup. I'm just, trying to just build and push it out there. But like, you need marketing for your fintech to grow, right? You need it to be able to teach your customers how to use your product. You need it to be able to reach the right people, right? And do, what most fintech companies want to do, which is you want to educate, right? You want to empower, you want to enable access. And how are you really going to do that? You have to use marketing to do that. So marketing is really important. One of the hardest things to do in the fintech industry is getting customers, right? Because look at it, fintech is a relatively new industry, right? We're fusing technology and finances together. So it's very hard getting to, getting your fintech company or your brand to the faces of those that matter, ego your customers, right? And without customers, you don't have financial inclusion. There is no accessibility, right? So it is very important, like, that fintech companies take marketing seriously. And, it typically boils down to, just four key objectives, right? You want to establish trust and credibility. That is a very key challenge for any fintech brand that is coming up any day, right? Because people don't know you, people don't trust you, but people would know, maybe like a UBA that has been in existence since whenever, right? Which is a financial company, right? But they don't know a fintech brand that just launched maybe 2 years ago, maybe this year, right? So you want to establish that trust and credibility, right? You want to also educate the market as quickly as you can, right? And as effectively as you can, which is why technology is very important, right? You want to get people talking about, what your fintech brand is. You want to get people to evangelize for you, right? And then obviously you want to acquire customers and generate, sales, drive growth, and all of that. All of these things is what marketing helps you to do. So everything I've been saying for the past minute, right? If too long you didn't listen, too long you didn't hear, if you run or you are in charge of a fintech startup or even a marketer, right? You have to understand that marketing is essential. It's essential because you use it to build trust. You will use it to educate your customers, who are the people that you're really speaking to, right? And then ultimately, you will use it to grow your business. I think one of the arguments that people make sometimes is, why do I need marketing, right? People don't really see the value because, marketing is not magic. Obviously, you want to build trust and educate your customers. You want to grow, right? But it's not magic. It's not like you're going to just wave your magic wand and then people would start doing things, right? So it's a long game. And a lot of businesses or brands don't have the patience, right, to play that long game. But it is very valuable because all the things that you do from a marketing perspective is going to accumulate and essentially, drive your business growth. So, that's an argument that you can make as a marketer who is trying to get into a fintech space and all of that. It's very important because you need the skills that fintech company requires to be able to build their brand and get the desired response that they want. So let's take a look at some key stats, right? The rapid growth of the fintech industry. So fintech is one of the fastest growing industry, right? According to reports, there is currently more than 162 fintech unicorns or startups valued at over $1 billion, right? Let's bring it home. In Nigeria, right, in 2021, there were 141 fintech startups, right? It's compared to what we've had in the previous years, right? And Nigeria, in fact, has one of the highest amount of, fintech startups in Africa. Now, this one is very interesting. By the end of 2021, right, the prediction is that global fintech markets will double in value, right, from what it was in 2018 to over $309 billion, right, in just 4 years. So you can see how the industry is growing, right? You can see that there is a need for marketing. There is a room for marketing in that industry because it's really what is going to get that industry to where it needs to be, right? So what does it mean? It means that the fintech sector is becoming very increasingly competitive, right? If you look at now, I'm sure somebody's thinking they were 10 fintechs that launched in the last whatever months, right? There are a lot of there are fintech companies coming up now, right? So there's the competition is tough, right? That's on one angle. Now there's another thing, which is that the fintech companies, they face specific challenges, right, that can further mar the success of their marketing, right? So take for instance, the FMCG industry, which is fast moving consumer goods, right? They don't really, their challenges is just, how do I persuade the consumer to use my product as opposed to using another person's product, right? That's an industry that has been since existence. It's a fast moving consumer good. People eat all the time, right? Now the financial technology industry is relatively new and there's competition and all of that. So some of those things, regulations, there are things that you can do and can't do. Some of those things are really, really, hindrances, especially to marketing, right? So what this means is that as the industry is growing, there is a need for marketers or even fintech founders or people in the fintech industry, right? There's a need for them to be focused in terms of the industry specific marketing techniques, right? That they can use to market their fintech products or services to their consumers or their customers, right? So yeah, what is fintech marketing? There's no how we look at it, right? Finance as a whole, right? It can be very boring. It's just, I mean, when we're in school, I'll speak for myself. When I was in school, right, I absolutely hated, accounting, mathematics, all of those things, right? So it can be boring, and fintech companies know that. they know that, it can be boring, but that's where there is the potential, because then you can make something interesting out of it through your marketing, right? So yeah, the challenges faced with customer acquisition, like I mentioned earlier, because that's one of the biggest challenges, right? You want to acquire customers. How do you acquire customers? And then when you acquire them, you want to educate them to use the product, because they don't know how to use it. They don't know, what value is in it for them. And that's where marketing comes in, right? So to tackle all of these challenges, fintech companies have to be very specific in terms of like how they market, so that they can get the desired results. Either it's B2B or B2C. I work in the B2B industry, right? I'm sure other marketers here who work in the B2C, if we sit down, some of our tactics or strategies are not going to be the same, right? Because it's specific to what, the business, right? It's specific to the kind of people that I'm speaking to. So basically, fintech marketing is essentially marketing that aims to, promote fintech companies. However, it is whatever it is that they do, right? It is a marketing that is basically designed, right, to tackle the unique challenges that these fintech brands face, which is, building trust, educating the customers. There are also regulations as part of it, right? You also want to gain new, apart from even getting new customers, you also want to keep them and ensure that they are loyal to you, because these people are the ones that would also spread, the good news of what you're doing. So what does fintech marketing help you do, right? With fintech marketing, you get to reach new audiences, right? Almost everybody in this world needs, we require finances, either it's traditional or it's fintech, right? But when you plan a fintech marketing strategy that is specific, to what your goal is, you're able to explore whatever possibilities, right? You're able to satisfy people's financial needs, however it is that you want to satisfy their needs, depending on what your product is. It helps you to educate, right? You are helping people to better manage their finances. You're letting people know that, with these products, right, you can plan, you can save towards, the new house that you want. You can save towards like your, vacation. So you want to educate them about the convenience of technology and how it can help them to do that in their finances. You also want to help them to build trust, right? So they can trust technology. I'm sure a lot of people, there are brands that people trust because, they're like, even if there's a glitch in their system, they're not thinking, my money is gone, right? Because they are secure in the kind of technology that these people are using to drive their product. And then it helps you to explore data. Data is very interesting. It's one of the reasons why I'm probably like in the fintech industry and also doing marketing at the same time, right? But with fintech, right, the amount of data is like it's a lot. There's a lot that you can do with it, right? You can understand your buyers' needs. You can know what their expectations are. You can know what their pain points are, just because you have access to data. And that's also one of the things that fintech, allows you to do. So very quickly, I'll just talk through 4 marketing tactics. Obviously, there are others, right? But I just picked this because I feel like it's all encompassing, right? And once I start to talk to all of them, you will see why I say so. So these marketing tactics will help you build trust, educate your customer, drive, demand, drive customer loyalty, and ultimately drive business growth. Because at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is you're trying to market your products and services. You're trying to get these customers, and then you want to contribute to the bottom line of the company, which is, grow the revenue. Right? So content marketing to educate and empower, touch points personalization. This one is my personal favorite. Social proof to win trust, and then obviously leveraging, tailored and specific marketing channels for you. Yeah, like I said earlier, right? There are numerous tactics. Again, depending on like what your business is or what the fintech company is, if it is a business to business or a business to consumer, or what kind of product. Is it a loan product? Is it insurance? Is it investment? The way you're going to speak to, the way an investment fintech company is going to speak to their consumers is different from the way a loan company is going to speak to their consumers, because they are basically, speaking to 2 different groups, right? But you would never know which one works, right? Unless you try and you test. Testing is very good in marketing. Like that's the basis of everything that we do. Because if you don't test and get the data and the insights, then you can't make informed decisions. You don't know what to do next. You're just doing things based on vibe, right? So the goal here is don't be afraid, right? To experiment with different strategies. Start small, see what works, and optimize from there until you see what now works for you, and then you can then channel all your energy, right? And then obviously have some supporting strategies for that. But essentially, the key is that don't be afraid to try out different things. To say, oh, it's not because Jemima has come to say, oh, content and let's do this. Obviously, content is all encompassing, right? But you have to be really focused and be understand what works for you really. And the only way you can do that is, through testing, through using data, leveraging data, and just optimizing. So content marketing to empower and educate. So what's content marketing, right? Is basically a strategic marketing approach to create and distribute valuable content, right? Consistently too, depending on how you want to do it, to educate, to get new customers, and obviously to drive, profitability in the business, right? Basically, you want people to perform an action, and you can use content to do that. Content is more valuable than ever, especially in the fintech marketing space. There are so many things that we can do with content. That's also why the role of marketing in fintech cannot be overemphasized, right? Because there's a lot of potential that we can tap from. Valuable content is what it is valuable, right? If it is creating how-to guides, or doing a listicle, or partnering with somebody to create something, or doing a white paper, as far as it is a valuable content that would help the consumer, is golden, right? It's valuable content that would help you build trust, right? And again, like I said, trust is very vital in selling financial products, because people you're dealing with money. You know how everybody can get with money, right? So you're dealing with money, but you can use content marketing to, generate and build that trust, right? You can do so many things with content to help you to say, okay, you know what? This is how we're doing it. This is how we want to speak to our consumers, and this is the action that we want them to take, right? You can also build your reputation, obviously, through content marketing, because once you're pushing out valuable content, then you are, noticeable, right, as okay, one of the key players in the game, and people start to trust what you're saying. People start to listen to what you're saying as a fintech brand, right? So whether you need to educate, establish trust, or improve your conversions, right? Content is going to basically form a very large part of what you're going to do, right? And then the key is, once you have a full, obviously we're just picking content as a way now, but the goal is to have a full marketing strategy, right? That would also incorporate what your content is, right? Once you have that, and you have the data, the insight that you need to even roll out, then the type of valuable content that you can create is going to be seamlessly easy, right? So explainer videos. A lot of the time, people see a lot of explainer videos, and they're just like, why do you need to be doing explainer videos all this? It's important because you're trying to teach people something, right? You're trying to let them know something about your product and how to use it. You're also trying to build trust, right? Founder podcast. This one is especially good for business to business, because you're speaking to businesses, right? So people need to listen from those that they consider as, okay, this person is thought leader, right? This person knows what they're saying. There's blog, there's customer testimonial, there's knowledge-based articles, infographics. There's so many things that you can do with content marketing, right? That would help you to essentially get the desired outcome that you want out of your customers, which is you want to educate them, you want them to be able to trust you, and ultimately you want them to perform a transaction or a conversion, regardless of, depending on what that is to you. Personalizing touch points. Now, because fintechs, right? We have a lot of access to data, obviously compliance data, because people actually would say, okay, drop their data. Now is in the analyzing of the data that marketing comes in for fintech, right? So personalized marketing basically incorporates who the customer is, right? What action are they taking, and what action can they take, right? And using that to essentially beef up what you want to say to them. So fintech companies are able to leverage the data that they have access to, right? And they can create that kind of experience, right? See how marketing is very interesting for fintech, because you have this data and you can use it to do something personalized to Jemima. You can use it to do something personalized to Olabisi. It doesn't have to be doing something that is for everybody that is on this call right now. You can literally personalize your touch points and personalize how you speak, right? So personalizing touch points, it goes beyond just including a customer's name in greeting, right? People say, oh, you're sending an email, and you're just saying, once I say Olabisi, but Olabisi is also going to get it. Jemima is also going to get it, even though Olabisi and Jemima might not be in the same bucket or in the same funnel, right? So personalization goes beyond just doing that. It is much more deeper than that, right? It's connecting the dots, right, between actions. What have they done? And what are they likely to do based on what the data is saying, right? So then you're able to give them what they want without them even asking. There's something we do at Thinkra, right? Where we, every week we take stock of what are customers saying, which product are they having, like, some difficulty assessing, what was the last, or what were the top three, complaints that they had in the week, right? And what we do is, on the marketing side, we use that to generate FAQs or knowledge-based articles, right? Or even, just motion graphics, and send to them, right? Even though they did not ask, right? It's not like they asked, it's something that they mentioned maybe in the week to say, oh, I'm having issues with this or all of that. But we're able to use that to, develop content that we can now send to them. And then when they see it, it's valuable content for them. So personalization, that's an example of like how we use personalization, and it works, right? So good marketing happens when you understand your customer inside out. And the measure of this is when you're able to predict their next move. So you're able to say, okay, because Jemima has taken this move, or because Olabisi has done this thing, it's likely for Olabisi to also want to leverage this other product, right? So let me reach out to Olabisi in this way, or let me, email Olabisi, or personalize my message to Olabisi in this way, right? Obviously, personalization via email automation would be like a low-hanging fruit, right, in this regard. So we can run effective campaigns, but here the key to this one is also segmentation, right? Because again, the goal of personalization is you want it to be meaningful to whoever it is that is receiving what you're saying, right? So if I have signed up to a platform, right, and the only thing that is left for me is to fund my account, and I'm getting an email to maybe do my KYC, then I'm not being reached out on a personal level, right? Whoever is reaching out to me does not know that I'm not in the funnel of people who need to do their KYC, but I'm in the funnel of people who need to fund their wallet, right? So yeah, that's where personalization comes in. The next one is to build social proof to win trust, right? What is social proof? Social proof is a psychological phenomenon where people are more likely to make a decision if they see other people doing the same thing, right? And then tell me how much more this cannot work in fintech marketing, right? It's very compelling to help, people to build trust in what like a fintech product is. So how do you build quality social proof? Some of these techniques works. If you see fintech companies doing this, then it's not because it's on vibe, it's because it is a tactic that is specific and that would help to get the desired results, right? That fintech company wants. So allow for customers review, ask them for feedback. What should we do? What should we add? What features should we, collect all of that information, right? And use it to build content, build case studies, partner with thought leaders. Just be able to ensure that you have people that other people would trust, or would say, okay, if this person says, ABC, it is gospel, right? So that's, I'm so sorry, I'm getting distracted. Someone's texting me here. So yeah, so build social proof to win trust. That's essentially what it is, like getting people who people listen to, right? Asking your customers for review. If your customers are people that, especially for B2B, right? So for us at Fincra, one of the things that we do is we do, like a one-on-one with, our key merchants. We do it like every month or every quarter, right? And then we just sit with them and just have conversation about what Fincra has done, or how they have leveraged Fincra, or even some of the challenges that they have even using Fincra. And we're able to use that to build out content, right, that we put out there. Sometimes we even blow it up a little bit more, so it gets more awareness. And what happens is we see people who come to us to say, oh, I saw that, this fintech is leveraging your infrastructure to provide, financial services. How can I get in on it? What do I need to do? That's where social proof works, right? Because by that, you're able to win their trust, right? The next one is I'm trying to speed up here so I don't go over my time. So the next one is to leverage tailored and specific marketing channels. Obviously, sometimes you don't have to have presence on all the channels, right? Again, Fincra, B2B. One of the key channels that works for us is SEO, right? SEO is a long game, right? SEO, search engine optimization, is a long game. But what we found out with data is that people that we are speaking to, they are searching for things. They're searching for, how do I make payments from Nigeria to USA, right? How do I, get a virtual account? How do I XY? So what do? We just, leverage SEO as like our strategy to just, we'll put content on our blog, very, very valuable content, do a lot of backlinks. And then what we see is that from the back end, when we're checking our analytics, we're able to tell that, okay, this lead came from this article that we put out, online, right? And it's because we are using SEO as a strategy. So you want to know where your audiences are. We also use LinkedIn, again, because business to business, right? Businesses are on LinkedIn. So know where your audiences are, right? Do research, get insights, do competitive analysis, see what your competitors are doing and how they're speaking to their consumers, and use that to essentially focus on the channel that will work for you, right? So yeah, leveraging specific channels. So here, the mix of channels that you use will definitely determine what your overall strategy is, right? Again, like I said, you want to perform market research, you want to see what is going on out there, understand your target audience, what kind of things do they like, right? It's not just about doing, demography and say, oh, 21 to 25, tech savvy, XYZ. No, you want to know what is specific to them, right? So that you're able to reach them where they, where they matter most. If they're not on Twitter and you're speaking on Twitter, then you're not really driving value, right? But again, because you're in a fintech industry, you have data at your disposal. You're able to make that kind of informed decision. So, evaluate the business model. What kind of resources do you have as well? Because sometimes people come in and, they want to be on all of the channels, but they don't have the resources, right? Or they don't have, the manpower to manage or man that specific channel. So just evaluate the business, know, the resources that you have, know what you're good at, and then identify the channels to even start with. And then from there, you can start to scale up. Again, remember what I said earlier about it's not important for you to be everywhere, right? You can figure out what works for you and then focus on that. So while I was doing a little bit of research on this, I noticed some really interesting success stories, right? For two fintech brands that have used, personalization and automation, especially leveraging a CRM tool to basically turn their businesses around. And I was like, okay, you know what? It's going to be nice to share this, right? Because even though it's on an international level, it still gives you a sense of what is possible with fintech and marketing and how, fintech and marketing has to go like this, right? So success story one, right? A fintech company, Canadian customer debt relief. What do? They help Canadians to, get debt, to resolve debt, unsecured loan, payday loans, just help them with loans. Now, what were the challenges that they faced, right? Email deliverability. They wanted to ensure that their emails gets to primary inbox and not spam. Sometimes people don't even care. We just send email blast and you're just like, yeah, you sent it, but you have to understand that if you really want somebody to take an action, then you have to go the extra mile of not just leaving it as it were, right? So then they wanted to capture their leads properly, right? They wanted to be able to track, so where is this lead coming from? Where is it from? Websites? Is it from the blog? Is it from this or that, right? And then they also wanted to nurture the leads, because it's not just bringing the leads in. You want the leads to be able to be in your system and continue being in your system, right? What did they do? They implemented a CRM called Lead Square, right? And then what did that help them do? Help them to automate leads capturing from ads. So they were able to now say, okay, this lead came from Google, this lead came from social media, this lead came from the website, right? For email marketing, they were able to do drip campaigns such that they are speaking to actual people in the segments that they want to speak to, right? Now, before they implemented this CRM tool or this technology, they were just doing things based on vibe, and they were not able to make informed decision on on a marketing level to even drive business growth, right? And then it was able to help them to capture their leads and nurture their leads, and then obviously track the activities of what their customers are doing across the different communication channels, so they know how to speak with them, more closely and more, directly, right? Success story two, just similar as well. Angel One is in India, right? Third largest stockbroking firm in India. Can you imagine that? But they faced a challenge, right? They couldn't engage their leads, right? Customers were just becoming missed opportunities. They had the lead, they had the data, they had the people, but they were becoming missed opportunities, right? They were not able to adequately understand their customers' interaction. So what did they do? What did they say? How did they serve them, right? And then they were not able to adequately get reporting, right? So that they can, analytics. Again, insight is very good for marketing, data, right? They were not able to just see, how do I report? What is the analytics saying and how do I optimize? What did they do? They implemented Salesforce to help them with segmenting their prospects, help them with trigger-based marketing, such that if somebody has, come to your site once, you're able to perform another action from that. Help them to manage drop-offs, right? One of the key things in fintech today is people would sign up, right? And then they drop off at the KYC stage because maybe the fintech company is asking for documents ABC and they are not able to provide it at that time. But there are things that you can do from a marketing perspective and automation perspective that would just gear them to take the action that you want them to do. And this is what Angel One did here. Just helping them to manage drop-off journey so that they are able to communicate to the different customers at the circle of the drop-off that they are, right? And they were able to automate reports. So they were able to get campaign reports, what's the performance saying, which region, and they were able to use that to make more informed decision and know where to just channel their marketing efforts to, right? All of this because they were able to get data and use data at their disposal, right? So if I've not said, I've been talking since for the past, I don't know how many minutes, but here are some very three key takeaways that you should take away from this, right? Again, like I said at the beginning, all industry requires specific marketing, right? What the goal of marketing is, you want to market your product, connect to your business, right? And get the desired response that you want. The fintech industry is not an exception to that, so that still applies, right? Then what is fintech marketing? It's just basically a sum of marketing techniques that's specifically tailored for financial technology, right? That helps fintech companies to improve, and ultimately automate the delivery and the use of their financial services. And then the last one is, don't be scared to try different fintech marketing tactics, right? Until you figure out what works for you and your customer, you can continue to test. Because if you don't test and if you don't get the insights that you need, you're not able to make informed decisions, right? You're not able to develop strategies that would drive growth. You're not able to engage with your consumers. You want to engage with them. So try different marketing tactics, figure out the one that works. Data is your best friend. And yeah, that will be all I have to share for you today. Thank you very much for listening to me. I hope you've been able to take a thing or two, and I will be taking any questions if there are any.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. See, I can see smoke coming out from your head. I mean, I've packed so much of that. Thanks a lot for that. So, guys, if you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section, and also you can tweet it or put it out there on social media and share your thoughts on social media using DigiNext Summit 2022. So if you have any questions for Jemima, I think we're ready to take the questions quickly. And I mean, she's still going to be here. So if you are still trying to think of the question, if you're still booting, we're here to, get your questions, and she's here to answer your questions. So if you're looking to explore the fintech marketing space, if you're already in the fintech space and you're still having issues, penetrating the market or getting your own market share, I mean, you have somebody here that's in the space. You have somebody here that's tested strategies that has worked, and she's here to also help you out with any questions you have. So thank you so much. Like Jemima said earlier on, I mean, you need to test the strategies. You need to know which one works before you can really understand and then stick to the strategy that works. So yeah, thank you so much, Jemima. And guys, I'm still waiting for your questions. What's going on, please? She's here before she runs away, please. We're waiting for your questions, and yeah, we would appreciate that. So you can just drop it at the comment section, or you can also tweet on social media using DigiNext Summit 2022. Thanks, Jemima.
Oh, sorry. Thank you very much for having me, Olabisi. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Right. So guys, okay, I think I'll have to bring her back because I can see somebody here asking a question. So before I bring our next speaker on stage, Jemima, sorry. I hope you're still here. Jemima.
I'm
Uh,
here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
okay,
Can you
so
hear me?
somebody's asking a question here and saying, how do you set marketing objectives in fintech marketing?
That's a good one. Thanks for asking that. It's not, how do I say this now? It's not, there's no like a one-two way or like a set way to say, oh, this is how you set marketing objective in fintech marketing. You set your objective the same way any industry will set their objective. So first thing first, you want to know what is your goal, like what are you trying to achieve. Depending on what the business is trying to achieve at the particular time, then you're able to set your marketing objectives based on that, right? So first of all, you need information, right? You need to be able to say, you know, what is the goal? What is the goal that I'm trying to achieve here? And then you can then set your objective based on that. I think one of the things that works is you want to set your objectives in a way that is measurable, right? You're able to say, okay, I want to create 10 content so that I can get 1,000 blog visits. That's the objective, right? I want to, do X amount of social posts so that I can get X amount of impression, right? So basically, setting your marketing objective in fintech marketing is just what is your goal? What are you trying to achieve? What action do you want your consumers to, take? And then you can set your objective based on that. That's basically it.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks,
Thank
Jemima.
you.
All right. Yeah, so I'll be bringing the next speaker on stage, but before then, I'm just gonna briefly read his profile. I think we'll eating into his time also, and I also hope he's here. Okay, yeah. So Edidion Ekong is a senior marketing executive specializing in product marketing, advertising, and multi-market communications, with a strong background in product development, business expansion, and sales across industries, including payments, e-commerce, logistics, digital entertainment, and sports. As a thought leader, strategic thinker, and team builder, Edidion has a proven track record of success in leading and scaling products at all stages of the product lifecycle for global brands. As marketing manager at Boomplay, Africa's largest and fastest growing music streaming service, Edidion was instrumental in the growth in Nigeria from 9 million users to November 2018 to over 60 million users. Wow. At Clasher Textiles 19, a San Francisco-based fintech company, Edidion managed corporate marketing functions, including brand management, product launch, advertising, marketing collateral, and events, and within 6 months led the growth in active B2B and B2C clients from zero to over 20,000 in Nigeria, Ghana, Zambia, Tanzania, Uganda, South Africa, and Kenya, with an MOM growth rate of 366% and revenue of more than $10 million. Edidion currently leads marketing and growth initiatives of all Alazo products, including Alazo Shop, B2B e-commerce app for informal retailers, Vides bookkeeping and inventory app, Alazo digital bank and agency banking, and Jita quick on-demand grocery delivery service. Now, Edidion brings the skills and experience to help brands of all sizes acquire and retain customers, build better brand equity, and improve customer satisfaction and revenue goals. Now, that is one packed profile. So, if you are in the retail space, or if you are thinking of how you want to retain customers, or you've been having challenges to build a better brand equity, I think you have the perfect person here for you. So I'll be bringing Edidiong on stage now. Hi, Edidiong.
Yeah, good afternoon. It's almost
Good
evening. How you doing?
afternoon. Thank you for joining. Well done.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
see that you are inside your car. Anyways,
Yeah, trying. Yeah. I'm happy to be here today with everyone. Yeah,
we're
thanks.
happy to have you and we are ready to listen to you. So, yes, please, by all means, have the floor.
Yeah, sure. Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining this summit today. As introduced already, my name is Eddie Diong. I've worked in different sectors in the last 7 to 8 years, helping companies of different sizes grow. Today, I'm having to speak to you about e-commerce marketing, tactics for success, especially in the retail sector. I want to go really straight in because of time. Um, Online shopping has continued to grow at a very unprecedented rate. This rise has been accelerated due to shifting customer behavior, caused by the global pandemic. Can remember when COVID came in, it forced many small businesses or even big ones to rethink how they do their business. For those who were not willing to innovate, they had to face this big challenge of either closing down. We could see that businesses and even consumers went online, right, to either provide goods and services or buy them. And this led to a rise in the global retail trade from 14% in 2019 to about 17% in 2020. In 2021, the retail e-commerce space had over 4.9 trillion US dollars in sales, with about 70% of these sales happening through mobile devices. Africa itself was not left behind during that time, right? We could see that e-commerce is even exploding at this time than ever before. With the rise of smartphone and internet penetration, we're seeing millions of Africans use online means to shop, right? In 2017, we had only 138 million people shop online, but this figure is expected to reach about half a billion in 2024. In terms of like revenue, Africans bought about $27 billion in US dollars in 2019, in 2020, and then we're hoping that in 2025 this gets to increase about $46 billion. And even so, we can see from stats, there's a survey done by Mastercard where about 90% of all businesses are SMEs, right? And in sub-Saharan Africa alone, we have 44 million micro, small, and medium businesses. And so that shows how explosive or how big e-commerce is globally and yes, in Africa. But then people get to wonder, like, what really is e-commerce? We've been saying e-commerce. What is e-commerce? In its very simple term, e-commerce is coined, by bringing two words together, electronic and commerce, right? So you have electronic commerce, meaning e-commerce. This in itself is firstly a digital platform and a business model that allows me and you to buy or sell items or services online. These kind of transactions can either be B2B, that's business to business, business to consumer, consumer to consumer, or even consumer to business. Truthfully, the word e-commerce is very broad and flexible, and there seems to be no general consensus around like what is the definition. However, these e-commerce businesses take different forms. For example, you have the retail business. Think of your normal retailer who has a brick and mortar store, right? Who sells maybe clothing, furniture, tools, and accessories. But then they decide to sell it online, right? Allowing you to either visit their website or their mobile app, add those products to your shopping carts, and then check out, right? We have a lot of examples here in Nigeria. One of such is Gam Sports. They have, one of the biggest fashion outlets across Nigeria. Although they have these physical storefronts, they still allow users, right, to go to their websites, to buy for goods. You also have like the service-based businesses. For example, think of people who use Fiverr, right, to provide services, or people who do consultancy, right? That's still a form of e-commerce. You can also think of like digital products like your ebooks, online courses, graphics, or anything that is not intangible, right? Does not require you to deliver to a physical address, right? And you're not limited by stock. Those also form, e-commerce as a whole. You also have like the wholesale vendors like the Alibaba who provide, who basically allow vendors to list on their platform and sell, right? You can also think of like subscription-based businesses like Netflix, Spotify, right? These are all different forms of e-commerce. But then, I mean, the big question is, how did e-commerce come by, right? What are the newer trends, right, in e-commerce now? As of note, the very first e-commerce transaction happened in 1994 by a bank called Phil Brandensberg, Beggar rather, who actually paid for something using his MasterCard worth $13. Since then, we've had a lot of innovations around e-commerce with the likes of the e-commerce big house, Amazon, Alibaba, who in the mid 90s had to like change how retail happened. Powered by the internet and also with the digitization in the financial landscape, we've seen lots of brick and mortar businesses go down, favoring online commerce. And then came Google, with tremendous traffic, which enabled businesses to pay for advertisements, do performance-based marketing, attract customers through SEO. And then also now you have lot of storefronts that doesn't need you to have like technical skill, right? You have the likes of Shopify, WooCommerce, Bumper, Kioshop, Catalog, Dukan in India, and the rest. And even like marketplaces like Alibaba, Pocket App, which we popularly know, and even Seller, which allows you sell digital products. All of this are actually powering e-commerce today. But even so, social media has enabled retailers to offer products directly to consumers. I mean, I mentioned about Bumper earlier. You can remember the integration with Meta, right, which allows retailers to connect their Instagram accounts and even Facebook, sell their products, collect payments, and all of that. In the US, we can see, a much better form of this kind of social commerce, right? Where Instagram allows you, to put up, shoppable stories, right? And even check out. And WhatsApp also doesn't stay different with this. Sometime this year, in India, Meta actually announced a partnership with Geomart, which basically allows people to shop, for groceries from your WhatsApp, right? Customers can add to shopping baskets, make payments without leaving the WhatsApp chat. And we've seen also businesses in Nigeria of different sizes accelerate their online commerce using WhatsApp, because I mean it's really very simple. They can put up their catalog, share links to their products, and even get to redirect customers to their website to make payments. And one of the newer trends we see today is around video commerce, right? Sometime in 2019 we had Drop TV, um, renowned to be the first shoppable video streaming platform, which allows users to watch videos and buy what they see in real time with the click of a button. In Nigeria, I've seen similar startups also, for example, Maka and also Edeki, which allows customers shop for products on videos, example shots and reels. So we have tremendous growth in in e-commerce space, and with this, it brings up a lot of competition even for the bigger brands. And so to be successful, um, as a company or as a business, you need to be able to have a well-defined e-commerce marketing strategy. Without this, you end up wasting money and missing out on potential customers. So the big question is, how do you get to create a winning e-commerce strategy amidst all of this competition, right? Um, Firstly, I'd love to define e-commerce marketing, right? It is more than merely driving traffic to your website. You need to be able to improve the whole online buying experience so that people desire to buy from you again and again. Here, the keyword is repeated purchase. So, your ultimate goal is to provide your customers with a seamless, frictionless digital experience, regardless of where they are or how they want to make transaction. But it starts with planning, right? The first thing is you need to set a goal and an objective. I know someone asks, Jemima, how do you get to set your goals, your objective, right? Firstly, you need to identify what your company's goals are, right? The ultimate aim for you would be, oh, I want to hit my revenue target, I want to be profitable. But you need to think explicitly around your goals, right? Looking at time frames, right? My goal is to increase our grocery sales by 25% by the end of Q3 or by the end of Q4, right? It is important that you leverage data and important metrics, for example, your conversion rate, your average order value, what people call their basket size, and your purchase frequency, right? To determine whether or not you're meeting up with these goals and objectives that you've set. Next, you want to be able to identify who your target audience is. This is very important to be successful with your marketing, because if you not know who your ideal customers are, how do you now get to target your marketing strategy or even the channels you want to reach them, right? So for example, imagine I want to say, I'm selling an organic baby food. I would want to define my target audience as affluent or rich, health conscious young mothers in Nigeria who want to feel good about feeding their children. Maybe that could be my definition of my target audience. This allows me to think more explicitly on how well to reach them and how to serve them. and then I want to be able to go more elaborately to like define what my buyer persona is, right? Creating it for each different segment. And then you want to be able to like map the whole customer journey. How do my customers reach me? What are the different customer touch points, right? Do they use social media? Do they visit my website? Do they search for me organically on Google, right? And would having to set up a small pop-up activation, help me redirect them back to my website. So understanding these different touch points are really, really important. And then lastly, you need to be able to calculate what we call your CLV, that's your customer lifetime value. This basically shows the income that is generated by a customer over the time of relationship with you. For example, you can think that a customer will buy from you repeatedly in the next 6 to 1 year, right? How much money can you make off that customer, right? This CLV, is actually a very important indicator, right, to the success of your e-commerce marketing strategy. One, because it influences how much you want to spend on acquiring a new customer. It also allows you to understand that across the different segments of customers you have, which of these customers are more profitable, which of them do you need to double down on your investment, or which one do you need to redefine your strategy, right? It really also helps you like with retention. So without taking much time, let me move straight forward into some of the strategies I have seen that has worked, in the last few years, working, especially also around whether digital or physical products. One of the major strategy is around SEO. Today, when people look out for things, the first thing they think of is you try to like Google it out. Where can I buy this? Where can I buy that? Um, Google says that half of searches are currently happen through Google search, right? And so that means that you need to be able to optimize your website, your product pages, or so that when customers search for products, they can find it. The question is, how do you go about your SEO? There are different tricks around it, but these are just a few tips. One, you need to ensure that all of your important pages, especially your product pages, are indexed by Google, right? You want to be able to submit a sitemap, right? You need to also be able to like build out a logical website architecture, right? Improve the load time. You don't want your site to be loading for 10 minutes when a customer basically would be wanting stuff out in 1 minute, right? You want to be able to do keyword research and make sure that you align these keywords with what customers search for, right? You want to avoid duplicate content. You want to be able to implement structured data, right? Fix all your broken links and ensure that your pages are mobile friendly. Some other thing I've noticed that has really worked is offering free shipping, right, to customers. Now, um, a survey done online shows that 70% of customers would buy from brands if they offered free shipping and delivery. 84% of them say that they are more likely to shop on sites that offer this service. And 75 say that they are more likely to appreciate free shipping versus any other type of promotional discount, right? So you might want to add free shipping as part of your offering, right, to your customers. Even the big guys, Jumia and Konga, have now added free shipping, even for low valued products. The benefit is really obvious to your business. Firstly, it will help you with more sales and with money. But the truth is, you don't want to offer free shipping at the detriment of your business. So you need to actually look at the cost, right? What is the cost of offering free shipping to customers? At the end of the day, do you stay profitable, right? These are all things you need to consider at the end of the day before saying, oh yeah, I think I want to go the free shipping route. But also, you want to be able to provide excellent customer support. Now, e-commerce has moved more than just providing high quality products or goods, right? It is also important that if you want to stand out, you should provide excellent customer service. Nowadays, this means that you need to adopt an omni-channel strategy, right? Assisting customers across different channels, be it on WhatsApp, be it on Facebook, be it on chatbots, be it on live chat, just to give them that frictionless and smooth experience, right? A fanatic approach might also be to use maybe a customer experience platform. We have More Engage, we have Simple, a lot of these different platforms that gives you like a 360 view of your customers and integrates all the different data touch points. One thing I've also seen that has worked a lot is loyalty program, right? Like I said, if a customer comes back to buy from you, you're going to make more money, right? And can actually improve how well your business is, right? um, we all know that it is easier for us to retain customers than to start, looking out for new customers. In fact, research shows that the worth of that a customer that buys repeatedly from you, right, is worth 10 times more than a new customer, right? And new customers are likely to buy, about 5 to 20%, versus old customers who can buy, you know, um, up to like 6 to 70%, if you look at, the customer lifetime value. So it is important that you think around like loyalty programs, right? How you want to structure your loyalty program is up to you, right? There is really no rule. But one thing I've seen very well is brands offering points, reward points, where customers can redeem those points, in exchange for coupons, in exchange for free items, or even for free delivery. The truth is, based on the sector, what kind of e-commerce business you do, you need to be able to personalize this loyalty program, right? One other thing I've seen that has really worked is using discount sales, right? As with loyalty program, there are different ways of going about it. Some brands would do, seasonal sales like Black Friday, which is, a trend right now, or Cyber Monday, or maybe during festive seasons like Easter and Christmas. Some also say, hey, if you buy X number of products, you get discount, or buy one, get one free, or they do some kind of product bundling, right? Cross selling and upselling, right? Or just say, oh, buy whatever product you buy, you get X percentage off, right? For example, at a leisure shop, we have a B2B, it's basically a B2B shopping app for informal businesses. One thing we have done to be able to build a level of stickiness, right, and loyalty is offering our customers a 10 naira discount for every time they buy on the app, right? Than if they were to, call us through our call center, right? So for every single product they buy, they get 10 naira. Now, for the informal retail sector, if we really understand these small women, men and women that sell along our street, 10 naira, of a product is even, their gain. So it's a big thing for them. And we see most of them using the app to order than having to call, or use other channels because of this incentive, right? So for an e-commerce business in retail, it's really important that you look around discount sales and other incentives to drive stickiness, to drive people to stay repeatedly using your products. You might also want to be able to like partner with complementary brands, right? So for example, if I'm selling outdoor products, and then there is this brand that does hiking, then maybe yes, I want to partner with them, right? And then also social media, right? um, a lot have been said about social media, right? So it's also important to understand who your audience is, right? Are your audience baby boomers? Then yes, Facebook works. Are they Gen Z and millennials? Then you can think of Instagram, and TikTok. Also, you might want to use influencer marketing, right, as a means to reach more audiences. Influencers, we know, have large audiences and the ability to influence people, to take decisions, buying your product. An example of such strategies has been used by a company called Fashion Nova, that one of the biggest ready-to-wear clothes companies in the world. What do is they use influencers, right? Who wear the dresses, post on Instagram, and then put out a special coupon saying, "Hey, use 80/20, right, and then get a 30% off, discount." You might also want to use like your offline store if you have a brick and mortar store, right? For example, Gansport that I mentioned earlier, what they do is if you go to their store to buy stuff, you only get 5% discount. But if you buy on their website, you get 10%. In fact, if you use their mobile app, you get a 20% discount, right? So you might also want to use your offline store as a way to like push online sales. So if a customer comes to your offline store, say, hey, you can get 20% off if you use our app. Why not? Then you can actually increase your sales. And the one important thing, most people fail to do is having what we call cart abandonment sequence, right? Some kind of automation, right? If people abandon your cart or they don't check out, it affects your cost of acquisition, right? And you lose money, right? Research shows that if you get to reach customers up to 3 times more, then these customers are more likely to check out or complete their transaction. So there are different tactics around, cart abandonment, right? For example, you can look at if customers fail to like check out after 24 hours after 2 days, you want to be able to send them messages or show them reasons why, they need to finish their transaction, right? And lastly, you don't want to forget about personalized marketing, right? I don't want someone to say, hey, customer. No, it should be, hello, Edidion, or hi, Edidion, right? This personalization makes them feel special, make them feel connected to you, right? A research by Accenture shows that 91% of customers like personalized emails. So do you want to send them wishes during their birthday, right? Do you want to be able to segment them into different um, um, segments based on age, location, interest, right? All of these are basically ways in which you can drive, success for your e-commerce platform. The truth is, this is not a one bucket rule, right? Um, Based on your business need, you can customize them, right? It's more like saying, it's just a recipe. These are the list of things you can possibly do. But then it's up to you, right, as a marketing professional, to look at what your business goals are and then customize these different offerings to be able to drive success. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm happy, to speak to everyone about this, and yeah, happy to also get questions. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Edidion, for that. That was powerfully packed. So, basically, if you're having any questions that you want to ask concerning retail success, retail marketing, e-commerce, I think right now is the best time for you to put it in the comment section. And Elian is telling us to understand who you are selling to. You cannot miss that. At the point where you understand who you're selling to, then you can start applying the tactics or the strategies. Ensure your search engine optimized also, and you can add free shipping as long as it's not at your own loss. And then customer loyalty and discounts, and also applying influencer marketing. So if you are in the retail market or you are in the e-commerce space and you have any questions to ask, please drop your questions at the comment section. I have some questions here for Jemima, but I mean, please, we've eaten so much into the time, and I'm not trying to keep everyone here for so long. So we would bring up your questions later on, and then she's still here. Everyone is still going to be here, and you can ask all the questions you want to ask. So I'll be bringing up the next speaker. Thank you so much, Edidion. Thank you for what you're doing in the space, and please do not go anywhere. We're here. We're expecting more questions. Thank you. So yeah, I think we've eaten so much into the time, so I'm just gonna bring up the next speaker. But I mean, I cannot afford to not talk about her, and I hope she's here with us. So Omolara Dada is an experienced marketing communications specialist with over 4 years of experience, and she has worked as a marketing communications specialist at AnyPay, a startup dedicated to providing financial wellness to employees in the workplace. She's also the co-founder of Molecular Pro, a startup that provides essential technology that connects natural gas, technical talent with job opportunities across Africa's natural gas industry. She's passionate about using social and digital media to tell stories of brands and businesses and help them establish global growth and dominance. So I'm going to bring Amolara up on stage here, and she's going to be talking about the effect of communication. And I hope you guys are, still here, jotting things down and ready to um, hear from her. Please keep dropping your questions. I can see them, and I will ask these questions because they are here. So I'm gonna read out those questions, but not to take so much of everyone's time. I'll be bringing Omolara up now. Hi, Omolara.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Good
Thank
evening.
you. I'm just gonna quickly leave the space for you so you can, go ahead and do your thing. Thank you.
All right, that's fine. Hi, everyone. It's such a great privilege to be here. I'm just going to jump right into my topic so that I don't take too much of your time. Um, I would like to share a slide. So give me a moment. Okay. Okay. All right. Please, can you confirm if you can see my screen? Um, BC.
We can see your screen. We can see your screen.
All right. Thank you. So I'm just going to dive right into it. So my name is Omolara. I'm a marketing communication specialist at AnyPay. AnyPay is a fintech company that provides a financial well-being solution to employees in the workplace, right? So my topic says that effective communication as an instrument for business growth. So, what is communication? I'm sure everybody knows that communication is the exchange of information, and of course, you're clearly transmitting a message, receiving acknowledgement that the message has been received and understood. Because that's another part of communication that we need to understand. It's not just about sending the message; you have to be sure that you're actually getting feedback. Even if you are not getting feedback, you have to be sure that the recipient actually not just receives but understands your message, understands the information you're trying to send, understands your intention and emotion as well. So that's what encapsulates what we call effective communication. So why is effective communication important, right? Effective communication is important because it helps you to reinforce your brand messaging. It's just like when we use everybody's familiar with Nike, just do it, just do it. That's an example of them always being in our faces with this communication to reinforce that this is their brand messaging. You can't but miss it. In fact, if you see just do it and there's no Nike logo accompanying, maybe you see another company, I'm sure that even without being an employee of Nike, you most likely be upset with the other brand by saying things like, well, don't you people know that this is Nike's tagline? So that's one of the things that communication helps you do. It helps you to reiterate your brand messaging. So communication helps you build customer relationship, right? If you are in business, you know that you definitely want to keep in touch, keep communicating with your clients, with your customers. So communication is actually what helps you to build this relationship, and this relationship is important because you want to ensure that you build brand trust and loyalty with your target audience, right? Also, communication boosts creativity and innovation. Also, if you work with a group of people, because I want to believe that with the way businesses are structured or companies are structured, you can't work alone. Even CEOs don't work alone, even founders don't work alone, right? So if you have or have mastered the art of communication, that means that you are able to work very well, excellently with your team. And if you've already mastered communication as a skill, it means that you people can work together effectively. You can work together and bring creative ideas to the table. So communication actually helps you boost creativity and innovation. And then, of course, like I mentioned, there's no effective communication without feedback. If you are communicating with your clients, with your customers, it encourages
Okay, I'm so sorry about that, guys. I think Omolara is experiencing a bit of network issues, and while that has happened, I don't know if Ladi is ready for us, but I think it would be best for us to bring him on. So now, when she comes back, I mean, we can go on after Ladi. So you guys can drop in your messages because, sorry, guys, can you hear me, please? Can you guys hear me? Please, can you let me know if you guys can hear me? Drop a message in the comment section so I can know that. Okay, great. Thank you. So I'd like to know if Ladi is ready, because I mean, so I don't take too much of your time. It's very like to bring Ladi up because I think Omolara is experiencing some network issues here. So while we're still waiting for her, I'm just going to go ahead and read Ladi's profile. I hope he does not mind. Nigeria and its problems. So Ladi has over 10 years of experience in B2B and B2C growth marketing, marketing management, user acquisition, brand strategy, and product marketing. He provides deep subject matter expertise on driving growth for technology-led products in multiple markets across the world. He has worked and led growth in companies like Techno, Palmpay, Sterling Bank, Coralpay, and a host of others. He holds an MBA from the University of South Wales, UK, and is a proud alumnus of the University of Lagos. Um, this is somebody that has been in the marketing space for long, also, and he's ready to talk about the effect of branding on consumer purchase. I would like to know if Ladi is ready for us. So I'll be bringing him up in a bit.
So good
Hi,
afternoon,
Ladi.
everyone. Hi,
Thank
allow me
you
to
for
see.
staying here. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry we had to bring you up because I mean, I guess Omolara is experiencing some network issues. So while we're waiting
Thank
for
you
her,
so much.
I think you can take the floor now. So yes, we're ready to take your break.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon, and I hope that this session is an amazing one for everyone. So just to confirm that everyone can see my screen, I'm gonna go ahead. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we
Very
can.
sure. Solid, excellent. So, good afternoon once again. So, I'm not going to be taking too much time. And one quick topic I'll be talking about this afternoon is the impact of branding on purchase decisions for customers. And this topic is very fascinating for me because it is something that I've researched over the years and that I've worked on, that I've always studied academically, theoretically, as well as practically. Now, if you look at the screen right now, you would see different set of bottles. On the left side of the screen, you would see three bottles. They are cola drinks, three different variants. And I'm sure that during the day today, at one point or the other, one of us on this in this conversation has gotten testy. You become testy, and you're thinking about what do I do. So there are two categories of people. The first category of people are those who get testy, and then they go for the bottle on the right and the left side of the screen, which is the bottle of water. And then the second part of people, or the second category of people, are those who get thirsty and then they go for a soda drink, whatever brand you decide now. The interesting thing is that when you see this part of the screen this afternoon, I'm sure that one drink or one brand comes to mind, and that's the power of branding. You see this, and then you think about one particular brand, whether it's Coca Cola, whether it's Biggie Cola, whether it's Pepsi, whatever brand you think about is important. It's just a function of branding. Now, on the right side of the screen as well, you see this set of bottled drinks packed. They are all inside secondary packaging, and you look at this, and also several brand comes to mind, or one brand comes to mind. I'm sure that for many people they will think, oh, are these Coca-Cola bottles or what are they? But it would shock you to know that these are Coca-Cola bottles. But because the reason why the principal reason why you think that they are Coca-Cola bottles is because of the power of branding. And that's one critical thing that we're talking about this afternoon. How important is branding? How essential is it in the life of the everyday consumers? We all have experienced this often. You go to a store, you see a lot of brands, and then you're deciding, what do I go for? You look at this upper shelf, you see cabin, Yale, by Yale, and you see this one by Oxford. And then you're asking yourself, should I buy this or should I buy this? This is a conversation, this is a question that consumers ask themselves every now and then, every time they want to make a purchase decision. So even in our own lives, even in the lives of consumers, purchase decisions are something that consumers encounter all the time. Should they buy brand A or brand B? Should they go for this brand or that brand? So, having said this, it's important that we as marketing professionals will understand the power behind branding and how it helps consumers make a decision between either buying this brand or this brand. And so, speaking about consumer purchase decisions, before we speak about that, let's speak to what branding is. Now, there are tons of definitions about what branding is. But I've decided to select this because it speaks to some elements that are very critical to the way we think, to the way we process, to the way we view branding, to the way we do branding as professionals. And so you can read it on the screen, so I'm not going to bore you with that. Well, elements have underlined elements that are essential, that are pivotal to this definition. You see process. So when you see the word process, you know that it's a set of procedures, it's a set of items that go after the other. So and this is one thing I tell people all the time when it comes to branding. Branding is not definitive, it's process, it's process, it's a process. So it's a continual process, it's a continual flow. It's a continual set of procedures that need to happen with a brand. It's not something you do, oh, I've done it at the beginning of the product life cycle, at the comment on the launch of the product, and that's all. I'm done branding. No, you need to continually do it till your product gets out of the market, till your product get out of the product life cycle, to the end of the product life cycle. Now, also another critical thing with branding is unique selling proposition. Now, you cannot do branding without a unique selling proposition for a brand. Now, you cannot do branding without having a unique value that you're selling that is about this brand. What is the thing that sets this brand apart in the marketplace? What is the thing that sets this brand apart? The competition. Now, when you see competition with your brand, what is the difference between your competition and your own brand? So if you're the brand manager at Yale Biscuits, what is the difference between Yale cabin or this other cabin or Oxford cabin as it is? So what is the difference? What is the value proposition? So and it's important that we understand this, we set the tone for this, or we set the base for this before we do anything concerning branding as professionals, because beyond this, without this, there is no branding. Without a unique selling proposition, without a differential element for a brand, without a process, there is no branding. We cannot do branding. So then let's talk about the consumer purchase process for a consumer. Now, every consumer, before they make a purchase decision, before they decide to buy from you, from the competitors, they do three things. They gather information, they consider options, they make a decision. Now, a lot of times people have expanded this. They've tried to design AIDA. This is the process. This is the process. The buying process. They've done a lot of things, but the three critical elements that happens in the mind of the consumer before they make any purchase decision. Think back also at the purchase decisions you have made this year. What did you do? You gathered information, and then you consider the options you have, and then you make a decision. Sometimes you can move from gathering information to making a decision. Now, a lot of times when you gather information, you move from gathering information to making a decision. What happens, what enables this for you is because of the branding, the element of branding for the particular product or for the particular service. Now, a lot of times people say that, oh, I want to travel from one country to another. What informs for tourism, what informs that decision a lot of times is the amount of branding that has gone into those countries. You see a lot of people touring South Africa, you see a lot of people touring Qatar, touring Dubai. These countries that have designed themselves, Kenya and the likes, what informs that decision going from the point where you gather information about this brand, you gather information about this one and you make a decision about where should I go for tourism, where should I tour, where should I go for my next holiday, is branding and is the element of branding. So the critical thing is now knowing that consumers make this process. There's this process in the mind of the consumer before they make a purchase decision. So it's important that as professionals, as marketing professionals, brand management professionals, or as branding professionals, we know how to ensure that when consumers are gathering information, we are available, physically available or mentally available, which is the essence of marketing, making products mentally available for consumers. And then when they are making a decision, it is our own brand that they decide to do. So now, so when you're testing, for example, which is the scenario or the analogy I'm trying to use here in the beginning, what do you do? Do you drink water or you drink soda? That decision that you're making, that purchase decision that you're making at the time, what determines it, what defines it, is the element of branding. So, how in essence, how do we ensure that we make sure that consumers choose us amongst our competitors? Now, it's important that I establish with these two data inside. Now, 59% of consumers have agreed or have accepted to say that, oh, they are most likely to make a purchase decision from a brand that is familiar to them. So it means that when two people, you put a room of 10 people, 5.9% of this number, they would most likely decide to buy from a brand that they are familiar with, a brand that they've come in contact with before, a brand that they have an idea of before. If I put everyone in a room right now and I say that I put on a blank screen that is of color yellow, of a particular shade, I'm sure that in your mind you start thinking about, oh, do I want to show you a TVC from MTN or thereabout? If I show you a blank screen that is black, you perhaps will be asking yourself, I want to show you a TVC from Guinness or thereabout. Now, these are branding elements. Now, this is the essence of branding. This is the power that branding has over humans. This is the power that branding has over consumers. And for past purchases, 21% of these consumers admit that they bought from a product, they bought a product from a brand that they like. Now, so these are critical things: familiarity and likeness. So these are two arms of branding. So as brand managers, as marketing professionals, we need to ensure that we make our brand familiar with consumers. We need to ensure that we build likeness, we build love, brand love for our brands, so that your consumers love your brand, your consumers are familiar with your brand. Now, one thing that and I intentionally took out from this presentation is the fact that people talk about, when it comes to branding, they talk about elements, they talk about brand elements, but the reality is elements they are nice to have, but the critical thing is, what do you do with these elements? So let me go to the point of what would branding do for a brand. Now, I think one critical thing that I've mentioned earlier is it will make purchase decisions simpler for consumers every now and then. So every now and then, when these consumers are desirous to choose between two of us, am I choosing this brand A or brand B? The purchase decision is made simpler for consumers with the element of branding, the amount of branding that has been put into the amount of work, branding work or branding system that has been put in place for brand A or brand B. In the minds of consumers, I think when Eddie was speaking earlier, Eddie works in a leso now. What informs a consumer? Should I purchase from Alezo or purchase from Omnibs as a competitor? The branding element has a major has a major part to play in that consumer purchase decision. So one thing that branding will always do for you as a business owner or as a marketing professional is that it make purchase decisions simpler for your customers. The second thing that branding will always also do, it gives a sense of identity to consumers. Now, people want a sense of, oh, I belong to this group, I belong to this group of users for this product. Everyone who uses Apple on this call will realize that there's a sense of community, there's a sense of identity to, oh, I'm an Apple user, or I'm a techno user. So there's a sense of identity when you use that product Apple, and that's why a lot of people want to keep using the product. You see a lot of people switch from Apple A to Apple B or Apple C to Apple D. They upgrade their smartphone, they want to start using their PC devices, they dump PCs and then they go for a Mac. So the branding gives a sense of identity to your consumers. The branding ensure that your consumers belong to a virtual community, as it were, a virtual community of consumers, a virtual community of advocates, a virtual community of users for your product or for your service. So when you're making a purchase decision, branding is what gives a sense of identity to consumers at this point. Now, one critical thing also that the branding will do for you, the third thing that I'm listing here, is the branding speaks to the senses of consumers for you. Now, as humans, we have five senses, basic senses that were taught in primary school: your nose, your ear, your tongue, your eyes. Five of them. Now, What branding will do for you is that branding connects you with your consumers emotionally or at an emotional level, and it gives them reassurance. It provides reassurance for them. It provides reassurance of safety. It provides reassurance of trust. I think everyone was speaking about trust. Branding is what will help you as a brand. You trust in the minds of the consumers. Now, I cannot list all elements of branding, but I listed two critical elements of branding that are very popular, which is the logo, which is also images, the kind of logo that the brand is putting out, the kind of images that the brand is putting out. There's a particular brand that I love, and I talk about them all the time with what they do, brass banking. Some of you may know them, and the only reason why I love this brand is simply because that the kind of photography that they use to communicate their brand of friends is superb. And if you go to their social media profiles, the way they do they have a webinar, and the way they do their creative is different. It's just a different feel, it's just a different vibe. And they've stuck with that we want to be a unique brand, we want to identify in this manner, we want to have this set of images with our brand. And that's what branding does. That's what branding does. It connects you emotionally to your brand. It gives you a form of bonding with your brand. It connects the senses of consumers, and it provides the assurance to those consumers. And that's what branding is. So we'll talk about three things that branding will do for your business. So then, which then leads to this conversation. I'm sure that a large percent of us in this room, on this call this afternoon, have seen these guys somewhere before. You perhaps have seen a fake Balenciaga being worn by someone. Now, why do people wear fake Balenciagas? Why do they wear fake Balenciagas? It's simple. Because of the amount of branding that has gone into the brand Balenciaga. Now, Balenciaga is a global brand, it's a popular brand, it's an aspirational brand. Everybody wants to wear Balenciaga. You want to own a Balenciaga. It gives you a sense of, oh, I'm a big boy, I've arrived, I'm making money, I'm stylish. I'm a fashionista, I'm a fashion lover. It gives you all that sense. It gives you that identity. It elevates your sense of self-esteem. It elevates your sense of belonging, your sense of being, your sense of self, and all those things. It gives you a sense of emotional connection with the brand. So now, this brand, Balenciaga, has built a reputation, has built a brand for itself so much that people would wear a fake Balenciaga just to identify with the brand. Now, the concept of fake clothing, fake apparels and whatnot, fake phones, is because they do not produce a fake item of a brand that is non-existent. They do not produce a fake item of a weak brand. Now, when people desire an high-end brand or an aspirational brand and they cannot find it, they won't mind buying a counterfeit of the same brand, because what they are buying actually, they are buying into the brand. So it's important that when I see things like this, I just smile, because I realize that the brand has put in a huge amount of work into building a brand name, brand identity for himself or herself or itself as it is. And then people are trying to buy into that brand, even though they know that they're buying a counterfeit product, or they're buying a counterfeit brand, or they're buying a counterfeit service. You see things. The most common one is you see fake pages or parody pages online, and you realize that why are people creating parodies? Nobody create parodies for people who are nobody. Nobody create parody for an upcoming brand. Create parodies for brands that have built themselves up to that stage. And that's why it's important that we as professionals, we as marketing professionals, build a brand that is solid, that is unique. Now, so this is an interesting post. So this person went to the market to buy Balenciaga, and they sold this for him or her. And interestingly, you're buying a Balenciaga for 17,000 naira. And in my head, what do you expect? The reality is, you go to the market to buy a Balenciaga for 17,000. In your own mind, you know that you are not buying an original Balenciaga. But because of the way this brand has built itself up as a solid brand, as a reputable brand, as a valuable brand, you wouldn't mind buying a Balenciaga, even though it's called Balenciaga or whatever it is you can pronounce. And it's very interesting how these things work. Now, another brand that's also very, very, very critical to examine what they've done in the Nigerian marketplace is Ashlocks. Now, if you look at this picture, you will see there are two kinds of pictures here. There's on the left you find Naramali with the owner of Ashlocks. On the right you find the owner of Ashlocks and two different artists, Zlatan Ibile and Davido. Now, for me, I stumbled about Ashlocks from from Davido. I kept seeing this guy Davido done in this design, Ashlocks. In my head, first things first, I thought this was an American designer. Davido practically lives in the US, so perhaps he wears an American designer called Ashlocks. Then I dug deep into this guy, and I figured that this is a Nigerian designer that has built a brand that is reputable for itself, an original brand, a unique brand, an engineering brand for itself, leveraging collaboration with artists, leveraging collaboration with popular figures in the Nigerian entertainment space, and everybody that I know that is aspirational wants to wear an assurance. That is one of the critical elements. That's one of the purpose. That's one of the power which branding does for a brand. Ashlocks came from nothing into becoming a designer everyone wants to wear. If you go to the streets now, the next public holiday, enter the next mall, you find a lot of people, an uncountable number of people wearing Ashlocks. But the reality is that a lot of these Ashlocks they're wearing is counterfeit, but they want to wear it because they want to get a sense of belonging to this Ashlocks wearing community. They want to get a sense of an emotional sense of connection with the Ashlocks brand. And that is important, it's very critical. It cannot be overemphasized that we should invest critically in building a brand. Now, the conversation then now has to be a question that how do you do things like this? How do you build a brand to the stage where people want to wear the fake? They don't mind wearing the fake. They know it's fake. They would rather buy the 17K Balenciaga, Balenciaga. They know it's fake, but they wouldn't mind wearing it. So you need to be relevant as a brand. You need to create relevance as a brand. You need to create relevance. You need to create credibility. You need to be appealing. You need to be creative. These are four things that every brand needs to do in building a branding strategy, in building a brand strategy that distinguishes them in the marketplace. You need to be relevant, you need to be credible, you need to be appealing, and you need to be creative. Now, I'm going to close up with this image. This is literally the most popular Photoshop picture on the internet right now. We've not gotten another one, but this is the most popular Photoshop image on the internet. And guess what? Immediately you see this picture, it speaks to so many things for you as an individual. It speaks to the athletes in the picture. It speaks to the brand that chess is being played on. The reality of the fact is that a lot of people, before seeing the behind the screen video, to realize that it was photoshopped, a lot of people knew that this was done by Louis Vuitton. Why? Because they've created a brand with their signature. They've created a brand with their checkered image. They've created a brand with they've created an identity for this patterned image and have owned it and have become valuable with it as a brand. So it's important. It cannot be overly emphasized. Now, when people see your a color, what do they identify you with? When they hear a tune, what do they identify you with? When they see a set of images, when they see a set of people, who do they identify it with? So these are the critical things that you need to do to build that brand. And it's important that you emphasize that branding is very critical to building success of any brand. And you cannot build a successful brand in any client in other countries, even in Nigeria, without building a solid brand that is reputable, that is relevant, that is creative, and that is valuable. Happy to take questions, and if you get further questions, something you can engage me via email. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ladi. That was wonderful. Thanks a lot. So, guys, if you have any questions, sorry, I don't know if I'm echoing, but if you have any questions, please you can drop them in the comment section right now. And so Ladi has just said that for you to, stay in the market and get your own market share, or at least if you are exploring the brand marketing side, you need to be relevant, you need to be credible, you need to be appealing, and you also need to be very creative about it. And that way you can also help the consumers make an informed decision that would also help you. So thank you so much, Ladi. I appreciate that. And guys, please start throwing in your questions. So I have Omolara back here, and I'm going to be bringing her on stage. So sorry for the break in transmission here. Hi, Omolara. Are you there?
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. So please,
Okay.
you have the floor.
Thank you. I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't know that my network was bad. I was actually just talking to myself and I ran through the entire deck, without knowing that something was going on. So I'm just going to start right now. Um, Yes, so my topic is effective communication as an instrument for business growth. I'm very wary of sharing my screen, but I think I'm going to do that. So I would like BC to just, be unmuted so that you can let me know from time to time if you can hear me. And so I'm sure that I'm not talking to myself.
Okay, no problem. That's fine.
All right. Okay. So I'll share my screen now so that people can see these things easily. All right. Uh, okay. Can you see my screen and can you see me?
Yes, yes, we can.
Awesome. All right. Hi, everyone. I think BC said this was where I got cut off. I was trying to explain how that I know everybody knows that communication is just exchange of information, right? But that the later part of this definition is that it's important for you to understand and acknowledge the fact that the recipient of your message actually receives and understands what you're trying to say. So communication doesn't just stop at exchanging information, but actually ensuring that your recipient understands the intention, the emotion, and the message that you're actually trying to pass across, right? So why is effective communication important? Effective communication is important because it helps you to reinforce your brand messaging. And I'm going to use Nike as an example. Even if you are not an employee or you've never worked or own a Nike product, right? Everybody knows that Nike is just do it, right? Because their communication is always in our face and they always reiterate this messaging every time they put out an ad, a copy, a newsletter, a social media post. So communication actually helps you to reinforce your brand messaging. Another thing communication helps you do is to build customer relationship, right? So because you're actively communicating with your target audience, it helps you to easily build trust and loyalty. They are not trying to doubt whether you're running away or not. They are sure that because you're actively communicating with them, they can always depend on you for whatever it is that they need. I also mentioned, or I also stated here that communication boosts creativity and innovation. How, you may ask? If you are working with a group of people, which most of us do on a day to day, it's important that you actually have great relationship with them and you understand how to navigate communicating with them. Because if you work well with a group or a team of people, right, you are more likely to bring forth creative ideas and innovation, which will help impact your brand or your company's bottom line. Another thing communication helps you to do is to encourage feedback. So if, for example, you're putting out a any form of maybe a newsletter, let me use a newsletter as an example. Depending on how you craft your messaging, if at the end of your newsletter you have a call to action that actually inspires somebody to write back to you or to give you a feedback, that's effective communication, right? So effective communication can actually encourage feedback from your target audience, right? And then, of course, last, effective communication boosts employee morale. In a company where people are people have great relationships, fine, but they also have clear understanding of the company structure, the company's values. It's easy for them to interact with one another. The morale is just there, the morale is high. And of course, happy employees are productive employees, which translates into a great bottom line for any company or brand. I listed the popular communication channels here. It's important that you have a website, social media, of course, email, like I mentioned, a blog, and then offline comms. So, like under these offline communications, we can have TV, radio, events, that's physical event that allows you to network. Um, Print, that's newspapers, flyers, and all of that. These are the popular ones, right? And I just limited it here for now. So I'm going to run through the tips for effective communication. Number one, which I'm sure even our other speakers have been able to touch on, is for you to know your target audience. Why is this important? It's important that you know your target audience so that it's easy for you to go to the next one, which is to identify your tone of voice. For example, if your target audience consists of the Gen Z population, right, you can't speak to them the same way you speak to a baby boomer or to millennials. You can't be too cooperative in your speak. You can't have too many convoluted words and sentences. You want to actually speak to them in the language that they understand and what they are used to. So it has to be giving, it has to be, you have to be slaying, and all of those things that all of those buzzwords that they are familiar with, right? So for you to be able to craft a tone of voice for yourself, you need to know and understand your target audience. I want to be sure that you're following me. So basically, can you help me out here? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Awesome. So the third point here is for you to create a brand manual for consistent communication across board. So for me, for example, everywhere I work, when I get to a new place, I want to know if there is already a manual or a policy, a messaging policy in place, because it's important that everybody in a brand, in a company, in an organization, they are in tune with who they are, what they do, what are the values, what they aim to achieve. It's easy. So if everybody has a brand manual, a brand bible that they stick to, right? If you ask the brand manager, what's your company about? It says one thing. If you ask the customer success or customer service person, what's your brand about? The person has to be saying the same thing that the brand manager is saying. There might be a bit of variation or tweak based on our level of understanding, but everybody has to be in tune with the communication and the messaging that you want to put out there. So it's important that you create a brand manual for consistent messaging across board. Everybody has to be saying the same thing, right? For example, if you go out there, just like Ladi just finished talking about branding, and then your barber or someone randomly on your street is selling something and their logo is I mean, they have their logo, but then they now put the tagline, just do it. Even though you don't work in Nike, right? It will make you feel some kind of way. You might even want to walk up to the person to say, just do it, care. Don't you people know that Nike owns this tagline already? You don't even work at Nike, but because of that consistent messaging, you feel the need to protect their brand, right? To fight for their brand, right? That's what effective communication can actually help you see or do. So the next point says for you to train your team on this company policy on communication. So there are different communication policies, right? You can have social media policy, which sort of guides you or the marketing department on what to post, what not to post, what to use your social media channels to communicate, how to handle grievances and complaints on social media, for example. You can also have a policy for your customer success team. This will help them or guide them on how to respond to grievances, how to respond to complaints, how not to respond as well. So, I mean, a lot of people expect that everybody should know these things. So, you hire people, but you don't give them or you don't equip them with the necessary tool that they need to succeed. You just feel like, for example, you hire a customer success person, you're like, oh, just be respectful to everyone. It's not enough to be respectful to everyone. It's for you to ensure that you actually help this person understand your company policy on certain things, what they should say and what they should never say to your customers, right? So it's important that you train your team on company policies on communication. And then we move to the next one, which says for you to get a feedback tool. There is no effective communication without feedback, right? So from time to time, and even as we're approaching the end of the year, make it a part of your strategy to actually send out surveys to your target audience. Ask them questions. How has my brand been of help to you this year? How has my product served you this year? How has my service served you this year? What do you think we can do better as we're preparing for the next year? Do these things so that you can get adequate feedback on that on things that can actually make your business better, on how you can provide services better, right? You can also, I put phone calls here because I've realized that those things actually work. People are more likely to be honest over a phone call because they don't have time to overthink it. If you're sending a survey, also try to make your survey short answers as opposed to how likely are you to recommend our product. 5. Rate us out of 5. Like, people are just feeling these things because they want to probably massage your ego and they are not really going to be honest, brutally honest, the kind of feedback that you want, you can actually try that's if you have access to your target audience phone numbers, right? You can actually try the phone call approach, pick people at random and just call them that, oh, we just want to find out from you how you think our product or our service is doing and what we can do better. You'll be shocked to see that you will get brutally honest answers that would actually help your business. And the last 2 points actually go together. Make sure that you're available and consistent with your messaging. If you have a tagline, stick to it. You can do rebranding, it's absolutely fine, but after a period of time, and there should be a good reason for you to rebrand. And you have to ensure that you stake it out for the long run, right? You don't want to be a just do it today, and then in 6 months you're telling people um fight for your happiness, and then another 6 months you are saying that you are the superhero. Like, stop, don't confuse people, right? There's actually power in repetition when it comes to effective communication. The fact that you are reiterating a certain value proposition, you are reiterating a certain brand messaging, actually helps your target audience to lay claim to what you have said and to remember it and become advocates of your brand. So that goes in line with sure that you improve the customer service, right? Most of the time when you see people drag brands on social media, especially on Twitter, it's not because for the most part that they don't have the product. Or you've seen the product on their page, you bought the product. Maybe there's a problem with delivery, but most of the time there's always an issue with communication. You find out that the people representing these brands on their communication channels are rude, they are brash, they don't know how to address issues, they don't know how to calm customers down. And at the end of the day, a great product is spoiled by zero customer service delivery, right? So it's important that you ensure that this line of this communication focused department, you're actually equipping them with all the tools that is necessary for them to do great work. So this is what effective communication can help you do, can help you. So if you own a business or you are a part of a startup and you realize that maybe things are not going as you should, I think you should actually take time to focus on your customer service department. Ask questions. How do you people attend to complaints? What kind of feedback are we getting from our customers? Because the customer success or service team, as the case may be, actually help you to get valuable feedback. Because they're closer to your customers than you are, maybe as a marketing specialist or as an MD or as a brand manager, whatever it is your position is, right? So you need to not just hire people for the sake of hiring, hire people, create policies and manuals to guide them towards the do's and don'ts that you want for your business. And you need to be consistent with this messaging. So I'm not going to share how to communicate with your customers. Share information. Keep your customers up on sales, discounts, offers, company news. Like they're a part of your family. Let them feel like they actually that you care about them enough to, share all of these things with them. Then also share your knowledge, be the go-to information site on that thing that you're selling or that service that you're providing. For example, if you're selling clothes, push out content that helps your customers style your clothes in different ways. Put out content that maybe teaches them how to get ink stains off their clothes. Put out content that suggests to them the perfect season or time to actually wear these clothes. Like ensure that everything related to that your product or the service you are offering, any information related to it, even if you have to curate, I mean, with content marketing, look, you don't have to actually start anything from scratch except you are building something entirely new. You can curate relevant resources for your customers, in the field that you play in based on the product or service that you are rendering, and ensure that you are that go-to person for them for any industry information or any information whatsoever on that product or service. And then, of course, ask for feedback, ask for ideas, even from your customers. Ask them questions, ask them what they think, ask them how it is that you can improve. Customers are actually very honest. I mean, they have no reason to lie to you like an employee, right? Who is also trying to care for his or her own interest. So it's important that you do that from time to time, maybe quarterly or something. And then, like I mentioned, you want to be fast in addressing complaints in a polite manner and according to the guideline that you have set. Even if your customer is wrong, because trust me, a lot of customers can actually be wrong and be brash in their approach. But you as a brand, you have to stick to the core of your messaging. You don't have to lose your cool or go off brand. You have to stick to the core of your messaging and ensure that you're approaching whatever issue it is with finesse and with utmost professionalism, right? So ensure that you put all of these things in place to address complaints when you're actually like speaking with your people. Even if you are selling a not so great product, to be honest, if you have excellent customer service, people are more likely to remember how you treat them, how you made them feel, how you spoke to them, even more than your product. If your product is something that maybe is food or for example, they've been fast based on the manual or guide that you have created, address complaints, right? Then ask for reviews. Happy customers are always enthusiastic about reviews, right? Stop there. Don't just stop at asking for reviews, right? Um, let me stop screen because that's like my last time. So don't just stop at asking for reviews. So even if they call you to the business, trust me, happy customers would be happy to help you out in sharing reviews, in giving you the reviews that you need to help your business. So I'm going to stop here now. If you have any questions or comments for me, I'm happy to answer all of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Omolara, for that. Thank you. And please, guys, if you have any questions, now is the best time to start throwing them in. So I will not to like waste so much time because I think we have done that already. I'm just going to bring Laddie up to answer some of the questions that you people have thrown here, and then if you have questions for Molara, please type it here so that I can ask her also. Thank you. So hold on, let me bring Laddie up. Hi, Laddie.
Olabisi. Hello, Malawa. That was an amazing
Hi,
presentation.
Omolara. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
So I just want to ask a quick question from the comment section. It says, hi Laddie, for a brand just starting up, to what degree will you say brand marketing should be prioritized?
Okay, so I think that researchers, brand strategies have done research and they've concluded that it should be a 60-40, especially when you're starting out. When you're starting out, you should prioritize 50-50 first, and then as you progress, you can move to a 60-40 split between marketing performance spend and brand spend. And this is critical because at the end of the day, you realize that as a business, you're in it for a long time. So, because you're in the business for a long time, and it's not because you just want to do business for a short time. So, while performance will drive results on the interim, on the short form, um, one thing that can drive performance for you, that can drive results for you on the long term, is your brand, what you are. So one of my mentors was telling me a story. He's a GM of a business, and he was telling me the story of there's one brand that there's one lollipop we used to lick as a child. That business is different from now. Presently, they are not producing anything. But to sell that business, conversations to sell that business was valuing that business as much as £1 billion. Because even though they are not producing one single candy, they're not producing one single sweet at the moment, but because that brand has built for itself a brand in the minds of children, in the minds of older people, in the minds of Nigerians, in the minds of the consumers. The brand has value to the point to the tune of £1 billion. And that's the power that branding has. So as you start out, prioritize building your brand while you're also prioritizing side by side um, performance as it is.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for that. So there's one other question that came in earlier on. I don't know if it is true. So there's someone asking here if influencer marketing or product marketing, which is better,
So
right? What do you think about that?
these are two different things. These are two different things. And the way I tell people here, I don't say that one channel is better than the other because products, services are different. What the channel that would perform excellently well for a product A will be that same channel may not perform excellently well for product B. So to know a channel that is better, you can perhaps experiment with both channels, see what works and what doesn't work. Now, for product marketing, we cannot exactly compare product marketing with influencer marketing because influencer marketing is a channel even under product marketing. So we cannot say that, oh, head to head, which is better between product marketing and influencer marketing, because influencer marketing can also be part of product marketing as it is. So I wouldn't compare both channels. They're two different things. Product marketing is the entire set of procedures, processes, items, tactics that you put into uh, driving revenue for a product, driving acquiring users for the product, retaining users for the product, driving retention for the product, for the product and whatnot, revenue from customers, as it were. So I wouldn't compare it with influencer marketing because which is just one tactical under product marketing, it's just one channel under product marketing. So I wouldn't compare both head to head as it is.
All right, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Okay, so I think that will be all, right? And I don't know if any other person still has any questions, but yes, that will be all for now. Thank you, Ladi, for your time. Thank you for attending. So, guys, thank you. I can see people join from Malawi, from Abuja, from UK, and I will really like to thank you all for that. I hope you guys were able to, jot things down and then acquire knowledge and, add to whatever experiences that you might have had or whatever knowledge you needed to, acquire. So thank you, and we have come to the end of this summit. I had a great time, listening to these guys, and I was able to pick out what I needed to pick out, and I hope you were able to do the same thing too. So I hope to see you guys next year, 2023, and I also hope that I also hope that you guys have been able to, acquire the amount of knowledge that you want to. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, have a nice day. Have a nice week. It was nice having you guys here. Bye.